Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Hey, I thought I'd share a little something I've been working with lately to illustrate a couple points. One is the Tai Chi of throwing or pitching. And the other is just what I learned from this little progression that happened in my free-form kind of practice. I have my form practice and lots of partner work practice, but I also have some free-form body exploration time built into my life and practice. So I do a lot of things where I just explore what's going on in my body and think about how I can develop exercises to improve and to explore further. So I'll give you a more specific example. I had and have still a little bit of an injury in my rotator or my shoulder stabilizer muscles. I'm not sure exactly what, but there was definitely something going on in this shoulder. And I thought, what if I go through the motions gently in a Tai Chi kind of way through the range of motion that commonly gives people rotator cuff problems. In other words, go through the movement slowly and correctly to kind of not aggravate the injury, of course, but to feel it and to allow it to loosen and strengthen and feel like to do the range of that motion correctly, so that I could hopefully just encourage the muscle to heal and come back to where it was. So I thought about throwing, because I like to throw. I've always loved throwing things. You might have seen my videos of me throwing cards into a hat. I had my personal best tonight, by the way, doing that, 44, my best ever out of 54. And I recently shot over 40 on the wobble board, which is even more impressive to me. Impressed myself. But of course, I have nights when I can barely get 30 in there. So anyway, I like to throw things. And a while back I taught myself to throw left and right-handed. My wife and I both like to do that, and so we go out with our mitts and softballs and throw left and right-handed. And so we haven't done that in a little while, but we're hoping to get back to it. But anyway, I thought, well, maybe I'll just go through the motions of throwing and gently do that and go through the range of motion, maybe feel some of the sore spot a little bit, but just go through it nice and gently so it didn't get bound up as it was healing. And so I thought, oh cool, maybe I'll make a little Tai Chi form based on throwing, just the act of throwing. And then it occurred to me that, I've never actually searched pitching mechanics on YouTube or on the internet in general. I always just kind of based it on some sort of vague remembering of, what people look like when they throw in a baseball game. And so I searched pitching mechanics on YouTube and something like that. And the first two videos that came up, the very first two that I looked at, just completely blew my mind. That there were like one or two or maybe three crucial, important things that I was doing wrong, and probably contributed to my never really developing as much consistency and power in my throwing as I would have liked. So from studying these videos, which were they were like high school or college coaches just made a video for their students. It wasn't even a professional special thing. It was like teaching kids how to throw properly. And so by watching these things, I just came up with this little simple kind of Tai Chi form that I can do without a ball. I'm still healing this thing. It's getting much, much better. But I'm mainly doing this in the wintertime, this February as I post this, to do during the wintertime, so that in the spring and summer when the sun starts to come out and it gets warmer, I can go out there and try this with an actual ball, which of course will be different, especially the release point and stuff like that. But basically, I stand with my feet parallel underneath my shoulders. And I come to kind of the kung fu position here, but except I'm picturing that whatever hand is inside the other one, that's the one that has a ball, right? So the first thing I do is if I'm going to throw with my right hand, my right, it'll look like left to you. My right is I transfer my weight to my right, which is a small transfer, and I just take my left heel out 90 degrees like that. So I just take that heel out, and then I take the other foot and turn it out. So now my feet are pointing away from where I'm going to throw, or perpendicular, right? So that's ball, left heel out, right toe out. Now here's the tricky part. What I used to do is I would rise on this leg and then step through and throw. And instead of doing that, I'm going to sink on that leg. So I'm going to set this up here. When I lift that knee, I'm going to think foot, my foot grounded on the ground, my knee aligned, my right knee aligned, and I'm going to sit at that point and elongate my spine a little bit. So another thing to pay attention to is the path of the left knee. What I used to do from here is I would wind it up in front of me like that, which is not good, at least not from what I've seen in videos, and also what feels good to me now. So I go here, heel out, toe out, and I'm going to lift my lift my left knee parallel to my right knee. I'm going to lift it, my thigh parallel. If anything, it lifts away from where I'm throwing, not lifting up in front of me this way. So again, that's ball, left heel out, right toe out, lift the knee and sit down into that leg, because I'm going to transfer my weight. My hands are going to separate, and I'm going to transfer my weight to my front leg. And there's my throw. So let's do the other side. So now my left hand has the ball. Right heel out, left toe out. Lift the knee parallel to, or lift the knee parallel to the standing leg. Sink and sit. Elongate the spine a little bit. Open and then throw. The follow-through step is not necessary. You can also just go ball, heel out, toe out, lift the knee, just put the foot down and throw. So you're just transferring your weight forward from back leg to front leg as you throw. So that looks like this. Oops, I did it wrong. That heel, then that toe. Lift, sit, then throw. So your arms separate and then throw. The step through is nice because it just gives you a little more freedom to unload that and step through with the other foot. I'm not saying my mechanics are fantastic, by the way. I'm not saying I've got this down. I'm using this as an example of something I'm working on that came from my exploration of what was going on in my shoulder, to think about maybe I should go through the throwing motions to help that heal, and looking up the mechanics a bit on YouTube and coming up with a simple form that I can do to head in the right direction. Right? So if you're a pitcher and you see things I'm doing wrong, believe me, I'm sure there's plenty, but the basics is what I'm going for here. So I turn that heel out, turn that toe out, lift the knee and sit. Separate my arms as I step, and then throw through with the step or not. You'll see pitchers will practically, because they're going for so much speed and intensity, which is an injury risk, is, they'll come back here and wind this up and throw with so much force that their whole body goes over, like they'll end up with their torso almost parallel to the ground as they release the ball. I'm not going for that I'm not going for that kind of power. I want to be accurate, and I don't want to hurt myself, and I want to feel like it's just a nice, smooth throw where all the energy that I generate is in the ball, not stuck in me somewhere. That's where the injuries come. So I want to go here, here, sit, expand, throw through. And so that's what I'm playing with. And I'm going to keep doing that this winter. My shoulder's feeling better and better all the time. Time is passing. I'm doing this. I'm doing other things too. I'm not saying this has healed my shoulder, but it certainly hasn't hurt it. Come the spring and or summer, I'm going to go out with the ball and start maybe with a tennis ball, something light that I won't strain myself with, and I'm going to play around with throwing this method, as opposed to what I used to do, which is just kind of that, you know. So putting a little more care into the mechanics. So that was my process of how I developed this little exercise. Exploration, maybe this will help, getting some information from the internet, and then coming up with an exercise or a little mini form that I can do to work work that circuit. Because man, when you think about it, a baseball pitcher who can stand 60 feet away from somebody and throw a ball 80, 90, 100 miles an hour in that amount of space, I mean, that's very impressive issuing of energy, or issuing momentum along a kinetic chain. I mean, that's very, very powerful thing, and to do that effectively and efficiently without injury certainly involves Tai Chi principles of balance, of the hard and soft aspects of the body, kinetic chains, smooth force delivery, rooted in the foot, powered by the leg, maybe released by the spine a bit, but expressed by the hand, not powered by the hand, mainly powered by that transfer of weight forward. It's very much Tai Chi in my book, if not formally the Tai Chi Chuan, the Chinese art. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Don't have any ads on this channel. I don't intend to be that kind of channel and put that kind of effort into appealing to the broadest possible demographic so I can get tons and tons of views. This is not a majority thing here, so I'm doing this to be helpful. If you feel helped and you'd like to contribute to my work, then please feel free to donate a little bit. I've got a PayPal link down below. No donation is too small or too large, but it's by all means not necessary. I'm really just posting this to be helpful. So if you play with this kind of thing and it is helpful, let me know. It's always nice to hear from people. And thanks for watching, and I appreciate it.